Welcome to What Was He Thinking? My name is A.B. Bracewell. Today I'm going to be your personal tour guide through a man's psyche. Take this journey as we explore why a man thinks the way he thinks, why a man acts the way he acts, and why a man feels the way he feels. No question is off limits, and no topic is too hard. By the end of the show, you'll have a better understanding and a better insight of who we are as men. Today we're going to be dealing with some very important topics. We got two ladies that wrote in. One is speaking about pursuing a man. The other one is asking about having sex too quick with a man. Let me get into the first topic, or the first question. I'm a 32-year-old single woman. Dating these days is hard. I have been raised to believe that it is a man's place to approach and pursue me if he's interested. My friends are telling me that I need to get with the times, start shooting my shot when I see a man that I like, but I hate rejection, and I wouldn't know the first thing about approaching a man. What do men really feel and think when a woman pursues them? So first, let me get this out of the way. This is not about right or wrong. This is not about should she or shouldn't she pursue a man. This is strictly about a man's response to a woman's pursuit. Now first, there are some facts that apply across the board to almost every man. And then there's some more specific detail that applies to the certain type of man that you decide to pursue. First, let's deal with the general facts. It's a fact that a man's response to a woman's pursuit is highly influenced by the generation that he grew up in. A man that grew up in the 80s is going to respond differently to your pursuit if he grew up in the 90s. And a man that grew up in the 90s is going to respond differently to a woman's pursuit if he grew up in this new millennium. You see, times have changed. The rules of engagement have evolved. The roles between the genders have also changed. So the way that a man responds to a woman's pursuit has changed along with it. Another fact that even overrides the generation that man grew up in is the generation that he was influenced by. You see, a man could have grown up in this new millennium, but if he was influenced and conditioned and taught by men that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, he's going to respond to your pursuit with the rules of engagement of those men. This next fact it kind of answers a question and is also a fact. A lot of women ask, do men like being pursued? And the answer is always yes. It's an ego stroke. Who doesn't like to feel liked? Who doesn't like to feel attractive? But you're asking the wrong question. The question isn't, does he like being pursued? The question is, does he like you? Because just because a man likes being pursued by you, that doesn't automatically mean that that's going to translate into him liking you. He can just enjoy his pursuit. He can enjoy your attention. And the fourth fact that goes across the board, a lot of people may not agree with it. A lot of people may be turned off by it. But that doesn't make it any less of a fact. When a woman pursues a man, something gets lost. I don't know if it's his interest. I don't know if it's that mystery, if it's that intrigue, or if it's the way he values her. But once those tables are turned, and she becomes the pursuer, and he's the one being pursued, something will get lost in that interaction. And that's just the facts. Now let's get into the more specific things that deal with a certain type of man that you're going to pursue. You see, I broke it down into 4 categories because you're going to be pursuing either one of these 4 type of guys. One guy is the hunter. The other guy is the beta male. The next guy is an alpha male, or he could be what I like to call the man in the mirror. So let's deal with the hunter first. And before I even get into the hunter, I want to dismiss a myth about the hunter and about men. All men are not natural born hunters. It's just not true. Being a hunter is a learned, it's a conditioned skill. It's something that we have to learn and discover how to do. We're not born that way, and every man is not born that way. So, for instance, let's look at the lion. Most people will say that a lion is probably the most fierce and skilled hunter in the world. But when a hunter or when a lion is born as a baby cub, is he a feared and skilled hunter? No, he's not. He has to observe the lion and the lioness. He has to watch and he has to wait and he has to practice how to become a hunter. And through trial and error, through failure, through rejection, through running and jumping and not capturing anything, he develops the skill of a hunter. And that same thing applies to when it comes to men. So as a man, what I would call a hunter in men, it's a guy that has learned how to approach women. A guy that has developed his skills in the rules of engagement. He doesn't fear introducing himself and starting a conversation. He sees what he wants and he goes after it. Now, I'll tell you a little bit story, and I might be incriminating myself, and I also might be aging myself. But when I was younger, me and my friends would get dressed, we'll get our haircuts, we'll put on our clean sneakers, and we'll go to the mall. And we'll play a little game. And the game was basically who can get the most numbers. So we'll team up, go 2 by 2, or we'll go as a group. And at the end of the day, whoever got the most numbers or whoever got the number from the prettiest girl was the winner. Now, that was our training ground. That's how we developed to be hunters. And I'll tell you the truth, every guy that was in the mall was not playing that game. Some guys went to the mall to go to the arcade. Some guys went to the movies, or some guys went shopping. And some of us developed our hunting skills at the mall. And that's the difference. You see, a hunter doesn't need a green light. He doesn't need a welcoming sign from a lady that he wants. He sees who he likes and he goes after it. And that's the difference between a hunter and a beta male. Now, to get into the nitty-gritty of the question that you asked, how would the hunter respond to your pursuit? You see, when a hunter wakes up in the morning, he already knows what he wants and who he wants. He has a picture of the type of lady that he's attracted to, and that's what he's going to go after. Now, another thing about a hunter, even though he has the picture of the type of lady he wants, he does not want to go home empty-handed. So if you're the type of lady that's going to pursue a hunter, there is a good chance that he might entertain your pursuit and he might keep you as a constellation prize until he finds his real prize. Another thing with a hunter, he's the one that's used to going after the woman. So if a woman pursues him, now the tables is turned. And it puts him in this uncomfortable space that he's not used to. Like, she's pursuing him, she's coming after him before he even has an opportunity to display his worth. And in a hunter's mind, anything that comes too easy is not good for him, or is not really worth it. So when you decide to pursue a hunter, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. But there are some good things about pursuing a hunter. If he likes you. If you pursue a hunter and he likes you, I can guarantee you would not have to do much hunting. You would not have to do any hunting at all. You just have to put yourself in position. Put yourself within his view, and he's going to take over the pursuit. He's going to go after you. He's going to pursue you. So that's the response. That's how a hunter thinks when he's pursued by a woman. Now, the next man that you may be pursuing is the beta male. Now, the beta male is a little different than a hunter. You see, the beta male, he pursues women also, but he doesn't pursue women with that same confidence as the hunter. The beta male usually uses his car or his money or his position or his prestige to attract women because he has an overall lack of confidence in himself. The beta male is probably described as someone that hasn't really found their purpose or not really focused on their purpose and really don't know themselves. So they find value in all these material items, and that's what they use to attract the attention of a woman. A beta male needs a lot of validation. So if you're a woman that decides to pursue a man and he happens to be a beta male, I can guarantee you're going to be pursuing that man for the duration of that relationship. Because the beta male, overall, the beta male may not have had a strong male role model in his life. That's why he lacks some of that confidence and doesn't know exactly who he is as a man. So he's used to taking the back seat and having a woman taking the initiative when it comes to relationships, because his mom probably did that throughout his entire life. And that's how he grew up to be a beta male. So if you decide to pursue a beta male, I can guarantee you will continuously be pursuing him. I'm sure a lot of women have experienced, especially in this day and time, when men are not calling, they're not setting up dates, they're just not taking that leadership position when it comes to the whole courtship. And that's most likely because he's a beta male that you're dealing with. Another thing about a beta male and pursuing a beta male, you'll get caught up in that cycle of having to constantly prove yourself, constantly validating him, constantly searching for his approval. So as I said, I'm not here to say if it's right or if it's wrong, should she or shouldn't she. I'm just here to state the facts of the type of men that you might pursue and the type of men you might encounter out there. The next type of man that you may encounter that you might find yourself pursuing is what we call the alpha male. See, the alpha male is that guy that has that natural leadership qualities. He's very charismatic, could be very good looking. He's good with people. He's a people person. People gravitate to him. And that's why if you're pursuing an alpha male, I can guarantee that brings out that kind of competitive spirit in you, in women, I should say, because you'll find that you're not the only one pursuing this guy. Being pursued by a woman for an alpha male is nothing that's uncommon. He's kind of used to it. And you'll probably feel that you're not being, I should say, valued, or you're not being cherished because of that. He might not look at your pursuit as anything super special because that's something he used to. Now, even if the alpha male tends to like you in your pursuit, there's a good chance that you'll still feel that you're constantly competing for his attention because you have to share him with the world, because everyone is pulling him in all different directions. He has his goals as a priority. You'll constantly feel in competition, as I said. The last and final man that you may be pursuing is the man that I call the man in the mirror. This is very rare, but it happens. With the man in the mirror, he is a direct reflection of you. You give him a call, he's calling you right back. You send him a text, he's texting you right back. Or what I'm really trying to say, your feelings, your emotions, your attraction, and your attention is at the same exact level. So you're pursuing him and he's pursuing you. And that's probably where you want to be when it comes to a relationship. It's a mutual attraction. It's very reciprocal. It's rare that it happens, because in most of the time in a relationship, there's always a pursuer and there's the one being pursued. But you might be a lucky one to meet that man in the mirror, the one that's going to reflect the same feelings, the same emotions, the same attraction that you have. So I hope I answered that question the best way I could. There's the man in the mirror, there's the alpha male, there's the beta male, and there's the hunter. I can guarantee you will be pursuing one out of 4 of those guys. So hopefully that information helps you so you can know what to expect if you decide to start shooting your shot and going after the man that you like.